D-Day is finally here. Claire packs her bags, thrilled to travel light for once. Her maids are totally baffled. She ghosts them with a silent exit. Meanwhile, at the manor, Duke Ian is frantically hunting for his runaway bride. "She's gone," a maid whispers, handing him a parting gift, a signed divorce agreement. Brutal. The Duke's brain just hit a 404 error. Meanwhile, Claire's miles away, staring dramatically out her carriage window. Did he find his true love yet? She wonders, annoyed that she's still thinking about him. Her mind drifts back to where the madness began. A glittering banquet from a lifetime ago. The room tilted as Duke Ian Ader entered. Every lady was basically gasping for his handsome air. He was the ultimate it boy, a legendary knight with a face sculpted by the gods. Young, powerful, and managing a dukedom? Seriously, save some talent for the rest of us, dude. Tucked in a corner, Claire eavesdropped and had finally snagged this golden bachelor's heart. Enter her drama queen sister, Amelia, flaunting a dress that cost more than their house. Amelia mocks Claire's boring look before hunting for the Duke like a predator on a mission. As Amelia swishes away, a mysterious butler creeps up on Claire. "Are you a Morris?" Startled, Claire wonders if she's in trouble. The butler just gives a cryptic nod. "Follow me." He leads her to a private room, whispering that a very important person is waiting inside. She walks in to find the Duke himself. Before she can faint, he drops a smooth, "Nice to meet you. I'm Ian Ader. I've got an important business deal for you, Lady Clare." Talk about an opening. Claire's brain is buffering. "Excuse me? Could you repeat that in a way that makes actual sense?" He admits it's a wild pitch. Claire blinks. "Did you seriously just mention the word ... marriage?" "Exactly," he smiles. Claire pinches her arm, convinced she's hallucinating from too much cheap champagne. Turns out it's reality. "Sir, we're basically strangers." This isn't how rom-coms usually work. He claims they've met before. Plus, he's turning 25 and his parents are in full throttle nagging mode. The Duke title comes with intense grandkids now. Pressure. It's getting way too much to handle. If he doesn't act, he's stuck in an arranged marriage. But wait, there's a secret catch. He confesses he's already in love with a childhood sweetheart. He tried to play the long game, but his parents want a wedding yesterday. They have absolutely zero chill regarding his love life. Claire nods along. His parents are clearly terrified their perfect son will end up alone forever. Since his true love is far away, Ian sips tea and drops the contract. A 1-year marriage. Just 1 year? Claire pinches herself again. Nope, still awake. This isn't a fever dream. Let's be real. Why would the kingdom's hottest bachelor pick a random wallflower for this scheme? She's intrigued but needs the tea. Finally, she agrees, but with one very big question. Despite the confusing story, she signs on. But first, why me? What's the real catch here? There are thousands of women why her. Ian explains he has a few very specific reasons. Reason 1, your family is basically broke, he explains. Ouch. Talk about a reality check, Duke. Claire blushes, remembering her family's tragic bank balance. The Morris name used to mean something, but a massive flood 10 years ago wiped out their land and their dignity with it. Every get-rich-quick scheme they tried failed. Now they're just drowning in enormous debt. Basically, the Duke is proposing a financial bailout disguised as a wedding. It's a business deal. Then why not my sister? Claire asks. She's the charming one. I'm just the plain one. He considered it, but her vibe is the problem. Amelia is too flashy for her own good. While Claire is humble, her sister dresses like she's a queen. He's impressed by her logic. He studied everything. An agreement with someone who ignores the family crisis makes zero sense. Claire can't argue with that logic. So the reward is saving my family from total ruin? Yes, the Duke confirms. Consider the dowry a payment to revive your family's failed businesses. Plus, more financial help after the year ends. Claire is absolutely floored by the offer. Am I really worth that much? Ian's gaze intensifies. The single year is everything to him. Claire realizes his obsession runs deep. He's surprisingly romantic in a terrifyingly intense way. A wedding without a dowry? Our protagonist is stunned. This duke is breaking every rule. 1 year as Duchess, then a clean divorce. Claire finally sees the method in his madness. He needs her in the mansion, playing the part perfectly. But his warnings remain chillingly sharp. He'll cover everything. The Duke smirks, knowing this deal is a lifeline her family can't refuse. Success means a massive bonus. Claire can't help it. The man is being incredibly generous. She knows the drill. A divorcee usually returns home only to be sold off again. But Ian has a plan. He'll use his influence to find her the perfect second husband. He'll guard her reputation, ensuring the social vultures don't stand a chance against her. You're far too kind, Claire notes. Ian simply acknowledges the heavy price she's paying. He knows he's asking for her life, so this is his way of balancing the scales. He sounds sincere, but admits a truly kind man wouldn't make a proposal like this. Name your price houses, gold, anything. He's basically handing her the keys to the kingdom. The man is passionate, should give him that. Claire agrees, but with one cheeky condition. He has to be the one to convince her parents. Ian blinks, surprised by the request. Is that all? He's certain a noble would reject a duke, so he gladly accepts. He agrees to the terms, oblivious to the demon parents he's about to face. If he wins them over, she's in. It's not just a deal. It's a tactical stay in marriage. The Duke moves like lightning. Within days, the high-stakes proposal is already in motion. A formal letter arrives, and before Claire can even breathe, the Duke is at her door. The mansion is pure chaos. A Duke is visiting. The servants are losing their minds. Claire, laundry in hand, just watches the circus. She didn't say a word to her parents. Why bother? They'd never believe a duke would ever look twice at a plain girl like her. In the drawing room, Ian exudes power, thanking the Marquis for this unexpected audience. He doesn't beat around the bush. He has a massive request for the head of the house. I want your permission to marry your daughter. The Marquis and Marchioness nearly faint in shock. The Marquis's brain short-circuits. He has to ask twice just to make sure he heard right. Ian keeps his cool. Is something wrong? Am I not good enough for your family? Fetch my daughter quickly. The Marquis shouts, while Ian thinks this is way too easy. Claire said this would be hard, but Ian's winning. Then the door swings open. For Amelia. Elegantly dressed and perfectly poised, Amelia glides in. Her parents beam with absolute pride. They're convinced their star daughter bagged Duke. Ian, however, feels a headache coming on. Amelia bats her lashes. Oh, Duke! I had no idea your heart belonged to me. I'm here for Lady Clare. The room turns to ice. Everyone is horrified. Not the plain one. Fed up with the drama, Ian storms out. The family chases him like desperate beggars. Walking through the halls, Ian's sharp eyes spot something that doesn't add up. This poor family is surrounded by luxury. The furniture is fit for a king. One painting could buy a mountain of dresses. So why is Claire treated like a servant? He spots her at the end of the hall. Found you at last, he purrs. My beloved, he calls out. Claire turns beet red, clutching her laundry in pure embarrassment. Amelia is fuming. Claire just sighs and confirms it. Yes, I've accepted his proposal. Her sister is seeing red, but the Marquis is busy ignoring her to save face. Are you ... sure about her? The Marquis stammers. Ian's gaze is unwavering. Only her. The Marquis tries to stall, claiming they're too poor to marry her off. What a lie! Forget the gold. The Duke declares that having Claire is the only treasure he truly needs. She is his everything. He then drops a bombshell. Their wedding is set for next month. The Marquis is off the hook, leaving her flabbergasted father totally speechless and confused. Ian moves in close, whispering sweet nothings about how he can't wait to marry her. He says this before his family, who are still buffering from the Duke's sudden exit. Amelia throws a massive tantrum, begging her father to reject this absolutely ridiculous proposal. She sneers that Clare was meant to be sold to some disgusting merchant anyway. Clare was used to the insults, but hearing them from family still stung deep. She endured Amelia's routine explosion while her father just sat there like a useless houseplant. Mom offered zero help. Clare felt the icy hatred stemming from her own difficult birth. Worse yet, she wasn't the boy they wanted, unlike Amelia's perfectly easy entrance into the world. Amelia was the golden child who hogged all the love. Until WSCK. A slap snaps Clare back. Amelia strikes her, screaming, "Why you?" 1 month later, the wedding bells are finally ringing. Leaving was a mercy. Amelia's bullying turned nuclear while her mother just enabled the brat. Mom just bought more dresses to soothe the beast. But Clare? She was just glad to survive. She looked like a princess, hiding her rough hands under silk. Finally, she hits the sack. Exhausted, she realizes this bed is a 5-star upgrade from our sad cot back home. The Duke walks in, teasing his eager bride. She panics, and he just lets out a hearty laugh. "Just kidding," he grins. Their 1-year contract together officially begins this very moment. She bows formally, promising to be the best temporary duchess during this crucial year. She eventually let him find his true love. He smirks, finding the husband title quite amusing. It feels almost ... real. He tells her to sleep while he retreats to the office. Plus, new dresses arrive tomorrow. Clare actually tries to convince him to stay. How bold. She offers to swap, but Ian won't budge. He's a gentleman, and she finally accepts his kindness. Tossing and turning, she wonders, isn't snuggling with a loved one supposed to be heavenly? Will anyone ever truly love her? Knock, knock. The next morning arrives with a surprise visitor. A maid enters. It's past noon. "Your Grace, do you plan to hibernate all day?" Clare is ready to hustle. But seeing her pathetic closet, the maid's jaw nearly hits the floor. "Where's the rest of your luggage?" the maid asks. Clare admits this tiny pile is her entire life. "Don't sweat it. I've been my own maid for years." The maid looks deeply concerned. "You're wearing that?" the maid stammers. Clare asks, "Is there a problem with my look?" The former duchess was a fashion icon. Clare's peasant chic vibe is totally confusing the staff. Respectful? Sure, but Clare could feel the judgy vibes radiating from every servant. Can you blame them? A plain Jane suddenly pops up as the new duchess out of nowhere. The butler greets her ... without a name. Weird flex, but Clare lets it slide for now. She asks for a duchess management lesson, but he shuts her down. "Just sit pretty, my lady." "Stay in your room," he basically says. Clare realizes her new life won't be easy at all. If they won't help, she help herself. Time for a solo tour of this massive mansion. Staying idle isn't an option. Back home, she was basically a servant doing all the heavy lifting. Her hands are rough from work. Maybe acting like a lady will finally grant her soft hands? Eavesdropping time. She catches the maids gossiping about the broke noble who just moved in. "She's a gold digger with 5 rags," they whisper. The gossip mill is really working overtime. Amelia would have slapped them into next week, but Clare chooses the high road instead. The garden is pristine. Looks like the previous duchess had a serious green thumb. The mansion is spotless. Ian's mother seemed like a total boss at the wedding. Clare was whisked away to another kingdom before she could even get the job description for her new life. Lost in thought, she stumbles upon a lonely maid drowning in a mountain of laundry. The poor girl jumps out of her skin, apologizing profusely before realizing she doesn't recognize this mysterious lady. "Just call me Clare," she says sweetly, and the girl shyly introduces herself as May. May's been dumped with a week's worth of chores. Naturally, Clare rolls up her sleeves to help. Oblivious May accepts, and Claire reveals the ultimate life hack, the legendary laundry stomp. It's a laundry party. They start splashing and stomping, turning a boring chore into a hilarious bonding moment. Time for some tea. Claire starts digging for gossip about the duchy's big boss, Madame Serna. Turns out Serna's been a total tyrant ever since May started 6 months ago. The head maid's laundry list is straight up bullying. But just as they finish, May's face turns pale. Surprise, the Duke is looming right behind her, looking for his runaway bride. What on earth? Claire spins around, slips, and bam! Straight into his strong, manly arms. Cue the sparkles. Safely back inside, a flustered Claire stammers, "I didn't think you'd be home so early, Your Grace." Ian's back for dress deliveries. Though his coworkers are the real culprits behind his early return. They teased him into acting like a real newlywed. Now, what was she doing playing in the dirt? She was having a blast, but now she's dying of embarrassment. Talk about a mood killer. He'll think I'm a total disaster. She panics just as the head maid swoops in with a scolding. A duchess shouldn't act so. Common, Serna sneers. But wait. Little May actually speaks up. It's my fault. She was just helping me. May cries, shielding her new friend from the heat. Claire is stunned. Why is this tiny girl risking her neck for someone she just met? For the first time ever, someone's in her corner. Touch. Claire decides to own the situation. I've done nothing wrong, she declares, but Serna isn't backing down without a fight. Washing clothes? Think of a family dignity. Serna huffs, practically clutching her invisible pearls. Claire isn't a pushover. This area is private, isn't it? No outsiders saw a thing. If you keep your mouth shut, no one knows. Ian watches, secretly impressed by his wife's backbone. And if word gets out, well, it means we have a traitor among us, doesn't it? That shut them up! Ian tries to end the drama, but Claire is just getting started. Wait, I have one more thing, she chirps. I've been wandering around all day quite lonely, ... Everyone looks so overworked. This place is huge, maybe I should start helping out? So, who's the genius assigning these chores? She asks. The butler points a shaky finger at Serna. Effective tomorrow, you're replaced. Claire drops the bomb, leaving Serna stammering for excuses. Competent? You gave a newbie a mountain of laundry. That's just bad management, darling. Serna claims others were meant to help, but Claire's got receipts on those lazy loungers. I saw them gossiping in the hall. They weren't cleaning, they were just spilling the tea. Saved by the tailor. Claire quickly shifts gears, giving her husband a sweet, apologetic smile. Sorry for the drama, dear. Ian just grins, happy to let his firecracker wife handle the household. Claire grabs May's hand. Can I keep her? I want her as my personal maid, Ian. He recommends a pro, but Claire's heart is set on May. Seeing her beam, Ian can't say no. Only 3 days in, and his passive wife is already running the show. He definitely misjudged her. She's full of surprises. Later, back at the office, someone snaps Ian out of his daze. Prince Keith catches the Duke daydreaming about his wife and starts teasing him mercilessly. You're practically glowing. Is that the newlywed spark? Ian blushes. Wait, was I making a face? Totally. But don't get too attached. It's just a 1-year contract, remember? Keith reminds him. It's not love, Ian insists. She's just way more interesting than I expected. Sure, Ian, sure. Keith recalls her being a quiet bookworm, but Ian's too busy thinking about his fiery new duchess. He searched everywhere until spotting her in the garden, scrubbing laundry with a maid, barefoot and clutching her skirt. The men are shook, but Ian just chuckles. Totally impressed, he notes she even booted Saren right out of her position. His buddy warns him to watch her closely, and Ian says he has it covered. He won't let anyone touch his girl. Her unexpected guts have Keith totally intrigued. Keith's dying to meet this spicy lady. Cut to the mansion dress delivery day. Ian got her some off-the-rack fits for now, but a tailor is coming. He asks his wifey, ... for a fancy dinner date. She's worried about trashing the dress so fast, but says yes. While she changes, he accidentally eavesdrops on the girl talk in the next room. Claire tells May to treat the dresses like gold since it is her first time. ... actually getting something brand new. Marquis title, yes. Bank account, totally empty. She used to stitch hand-me-downs together, making her a secret sewing pro today. A dress just for her made her heart soar. Hearing all this, the Duke freezes. He realizes she's a pro at masking her true, sparkling joy behind a calm face. Poor dude is already whipped and does not even know it. Next day, May is crying because she spilled lunch. Now there is 0 food left. Oops. Claire is like, no, bakey. I am stuffed from breakfast, let us just have tea. But our girl knows better, no lunch? That is definitely Saren's petty revenge. She won't let them bully her maid, though. She's just glad May brought something. May's eyes are red getting even this tea was a battle. Claire notices everything. She invites May to join her. May hesitates for a second, then sits down. Watching her maid, Claire remembers tea time with her sweet late grandmother, the only person who truly loved her. Meanwhile, May is stressing over her pouring skills. Is it good? May asks. Our protagonists answer, a big fat yes. It is delicious because it was made with love. May is such a sweet cinnamon roll. Then it hits her, May is starving too. Let us go for a walk, she suggests. Distraction over food? Not the best logic, girl, but we will roll with it. Claire is terrified of staining her precious new threads while they stroll. May says not to worry since they can wash it. Suddenly, gorgeous red roses appear. Ian's mom loved roses, which explains why they are thriving so hard. The flowers are dreamy, but the thorns? A sharp reminder she is just a replacement. Days pass, and the oops, no food situation gets way worse for them. The staff is playing games while Ian is busy grinding at work. Claire is plotting. They want her to quit, but snitching to hubby is not the move yet. He would just fire everyone and she would look like a needy drama queen. May is worried they will starve. How long can they survive on vibes and tea? Claire feels terrible, but May insists she chose this ride-or-die life herself. Breakfast arrives. Our protagonist is ready to eat like it is her last meal. She is loading up for tomorrow, but May is still going hungry. Ian notices her hesitation. Food bad? Yes. But Claire is a total genius. She asks to take the leftovers to her room, claiming she is not a morning eater. He agrees, but she insists on carrying the doggy bag herself. Alpha move. On the way back, the Duke asks if she is vibing with the new house. It is great, love the garden. She chirps, then mentions his late-night shifts. Ian gets shy, admitting he totally loses track of time when he is focused. Why so apologetic, Duke? This is just a business arrangement, remember? She urges him to rest more. Later, Claire sneaks bread to poor May. The maid hesitates, but hunger wins. Claire insists she cannot eat it alone. May finally digs in. Watching her, Claire vows to protect her loyal maid. Night falls and Claire is famished. May feels terrible for having no food. May has nothing. Claire recalls her dark past of starving at home. Amelia's cruelty flashed back. Claire decides it is time for a kitchen raid. A plan is born. Claire gets fired up to solve their hunger. I am cooking, Claire declares, but May looks at her in total shock. Trust me, I have survived on my own skills before. Claire winks. Soon, a delicious stew bubbles while May watches in pure disbelief. May is stunned. Claire reveals she learned to cook while starving for 3 days. It was a matter of survival back in her heartless family home. She would sneak leftovers and learn through tears while the house slept. The fear was haunting. May is absolutely heartbroken hearing about Claire's past. What a warrior! May admits she only survived by begging her neglectful father. That desperate choice was the only reason she started working here. Clare feels her pain. No one should ever have to face hunger alone. From now on, we eat together, Clare promises, singing while she stirs. May is mesmerized. Her madam has the voice of an angel. Maybe I will become a traveling singer. Clare jokes, dreaming of freedom. As May asks about the Duke, the man himself suddenly appears. Clare jumps, spinning fast. Miraculously, she keeps her balance this time. The Duke is actually laughing. Clare tries to act natural despite being caught. Talk about bad timing. She screams internally while politely apologizing for the surprise. Ian smiles, noting how happy she looked while singing over her pot. He wonders why his duchess is cooking. The chef was. Daisy, Clare lies. May tries to cover, but Clare decides it is time for tactical honesty. Forgive me, Duke, but I have not seen a crumb since morning. Hunger drove her to this crime. Ian freezes. Wait, you skipped lunch? Wait, do we serve lunch here? Clare asks, making the Duke's heart drop. Realization hits him like a truck. His wife is being starved by staff. The servants turn pale under his icy gaze. Clare just wants dinner. Can we scold them after we eat? The food is getting cold. Ian tries to be a critic. The steak is impressively thick, he mutters. It is fine if it is tasteless. Clare laughs, but he insists it is delicious. She put her heart into it, then realizes he saw her singing. Her face turns red, but Ian admits he loved seeing her happy. His colleagues sent him home early because she was worried about him. Clare beams. This means the era of starving is finally over. After dinner, the Duke's mood turns cold. He demands to know who forgot lunch. The staff actually blames the Duchess. Clare blinks with fake innocent eyes. Perhaps they are right, she sighs. I must have done something wrong. Her sarcasm is top tier as she mocks their pathetic excuses to his face. Finally, Clare sees a bright, delicious future ahead in her new home. She grills the staff about dinner, but shocker, they've got nothing to say. They throw poor Annie under the bus, claiming she's the one starving the Duchess. Annie prepares for the worst, expecting a pink slip. But Clare turns to her husband. She requests Annie as her personal maid. Ian's confused. What's her game? Serving an enemy is the ultimate torture, she smirks. The next morning at work, Keith notices the Duke is beaming. Last night, Ian was practically glowing with joy. He'd rushed home early, looking suspicious. Keith's dying to know the spicy details. Ian recalls Clare singing while she cooked. Just the thought has him dazed. That magical scene is burned into his brain. Keith can hardly believe his ears. Your wife is something else. Who works this hard for a contract marriage? Ian admits he missed it. The staff were clearly ganging up on her. They were starving her. Keith's impressed she didn't just break under the pressure. She cooked for herself. Ian tried to fire the mastermind to keep his contract safe. But Clare shocked him. She insisted on keeping her enemy close by her side. She claims the maid's loyalty is just misplaced. Why waste such a devoted soul? She's fascinating, Keith muses. Ian can't help but find himself nodding in agreement. He originally picked her for efficiency, thinking she was just a weird but ideal candidate. Now, everything's shifting. She's actually smiling while scrubbing laundry. She sings while she cooks, but that certain smile, it still haunts him. It's like she's locked behind a wall. Keith demands an intro to this mystery woman. When can the squad meet her? Well, her gown's here, Ian notes. She's debut ready for the banquet. Back home, Clare greets him like a dream. She's the perfect wife. Ian's poor heart is doing gymnastics. He's totally floored. He regains his cool and drops the big invite, a banquet in 2 weeks. Taking his coat, she agrees. It's time for her first official wife gig. Truth is, she's terrified. This high society gala is no joke for our girl. Mixing with snobby nobles? She's losing sleep just wondering how she survived. She can't dance. But as Duchess, she has to hit that ballroom floor. A tutor? No way. That took her sister 2 years to master. You need a man to practice, and she's out of options. What now? Ian heads to work, leaving our heroine spiraling in her own thoughts. How can she find a partner in 14 days? She mopes back to her room. She spots Ian's laundry from yesterday. Hey, give those to me, she commands. He's a fashion icon with a massive closet. He'll never miss one outfit. Behold, she crafts a Duke-sized laundry doll as her new dance partner. While hugging the fake Duke, she finds a stunning vintage pen in the pocket. He must have left it. She sets it aside, planning to return it tonight. Time to move. She tries to channel her inner ballerina from old memories. Rhythm? None. Grace? 0. But she's having a blast waltzing with her laundry. Cue the bad timing! Ian bursts in, searching for that forgotten pen. She hides the doll and lunges for the pen, and of course, she trips. Ian dives to save her, and they both crash. Care to explain this? She's literally in his lap. Panic mode, engaged. Are you okay? She squeaks. I'm fine. Training helps. He smirks. He clarifies why he made a U-turn. He just wanted his pen. She admits she found it while handling his laundry. She planned to return it tonight. Blushing, she explains it's all because of his banquet invitation. She never danced before and was practicing in secret. The Duke is totally stunned by this. Despite all those parties, Clare was never invited to dance or even given proper lessons. Others will ask, but you must save at least one dance for me, he insists. That's why she built this practice doll. Now she's terrified he'll cancel their entire contract. Will he ditch her for being a klutz? Instead, he stands and speaks with authority. I'll teach you myself, he declares. But Clare wonders how a busy man like him can. 1 hour before breakfast, he says. No excuses, they'll practice every single morning. They need to be perfectly in sync for the year. Lessons officially start tomorrow. He grabs his pen, thanks Clare, and heads right back to his mountain of work. Ooh, another cringy moment. She starts picking a fight with her handmade dance partner. This is your fault. She pouts, then blushes. The dummy smells exactly like the Duke. Back in her room, Clare orders tea in the garden to admire the blooming roses. Her personal maid, Annie, is ice cold but handles every single duty like a pro. It's better not to get attached. After all, she's only staying here for 1 year. Walking through the roses, she feels like royalty sipping tea in this beautiful paradise. She hid her partner in the closet to make sure no one found her secret. Suddenly, a scream. Annie is totally tearing into poor May over some messy tea. To stop the drama, Clare sends May for snacks just to talk to Annie alone. That was a bit harsh, Clare notes. But the cold maid has her own reasons. She gets it now. Annie isn't mean. She's just a very strict, hidden mentor. It wasn't about being a bully. She actually cares about making May a better maid. Keep teaching her, Clare requests. Help her become the best person she can be. Annie is a true professional. Even when Clare leaves, these two will be just fine. Changing the subject, Clare asks where a girl can find some top-tier makeup. Annie is floored. Did the madam really attend her own wedding without any makeup? I never needed it, she claims, but the actual truth is much more annoying. That snake Amelia brainwashed her into thinking makeup was a total waste of time. Annie suggests a full set. Clare starts sweating. That's going to be one huge bill. Does she need the Duke's permission to splurge? Annie says absolutely not, madam. Turns out the Duke gave her a literal no-limit shopping pass for everything. Annie asks if there's anything else. Clare thinks she's finally all set for now. Annie wants to check her closet. But first, she has one very pointed question. Are you really okay with a former bully touching your personal belongings like this? Clare isn't worried. Why would someone betrayed by friends turn on her only savior? A bit later, May pops back in, wondering where Annie disappeared to so suddenly. She's checking the ball prep, Claire says. Everything has to be perfect for the night. He got her a custom dress. She can't mess this up. Practice makes perfect, right? After her lesson with the Duke, maybe she'll squeeze in some extra dummy training. Wait, Annie is checking the closet. Claire gallops back to save her secret partner. Too late, the maid is staring into the wardrobe like she's seen a ghost. Are those the Duke's clothes? May gasps. Claire is literally dying of pure shame. She's speechless. Now they think she's a creep who makes dolls of her husband. It's so awkward. How can she tell them it's just for secret dance practice? Meanwhile, the Duke is at the training grounds, flaunting some lethal abs and sweat. He recalls the pride of joining the Order of Knights at just 18. His talent was undeniable, and he quickly rose to become the Crown Princess's personal shield. Even as a Duke, he remained a guardian. Yet, he felt like a restless soul in a golden cage, eventually resigning from the guard at 22. Now, rigorous training is his only cure for a wandering mind. Suddenly, Keith's voice breaks his focus. Shocked to see the Duke working up a sweat so early. He admits he's only here to pester Ian. Since the Duke's life has become a spicy drama lately, Ian plays it cool, claiming there's nothing to tell. But Keith insists that venting beats hitting a training dummy. Finally, the stone-cold Duke gives in. It's about Claire again. Keith asks if they had a lover's quarrel, but the truth is much weirder. Ian confesses he caught her dancing with a doll, a makeshift partner made of bedsheets and old laundry. He'd rushed home for a forgotten pen and some clothes, only to stumble into a bizarre private party. When he found his clothes missing, the maid pointed him toward the Duchess's room. There he found Claire, waltzing with a laundry bundle version of himself, looking more radiant than ever. Keith is baffled. Why a doll? His own sister usually dances with a small army of noblemen. Ian realizes then that their worlds are light years apart. Claire wasn't raised in the spotlight of high society. He had kept his distance to avoid catching feelings. But now his curiosity is reaching a fever pitch. Keith teases that this weirdo Duchess is actually quite charming. Certainly more than his 10-year unrequited crush. He reminds Ian that he's been pining for a ghost for a decade. A woman who likely forgot him. While Ian mopes, his old flame is probably out there living her absolute best life without him. This hits a nerve. His first love was Princess Sophia, his childhood friend and the keeper of his heart. He once believed they were bound by destiny, but Sophia's heart belonged to the open road. She's been studying across the globe since age 14, leaving Ian waiting in the shadows for years. But now the king has ordered her return within the year. Keith keeps rubbing salt in the wound, telling him to stop chasing a phantom from the past. The next morning brings a new challenge. Dance lessons begin, and it's a disaster. Claire is convinced she was born with 2 left feet. She imagines her perfect husband never struggled like this, since he seems annoyingly good at everything. He tells her to stop overthinking her steps. She just needs to surrender to the music's flow. Claire is terrified of crushing his royal toes, but Ian has a surprisingly cheeky silver lining. He jokes that stepping on feet is a great way to scare off other men at the ball. She worries he'll suffer through a year of bruised toes, but he claims he can endure anything. He tells her not to worry, yet her temporary status still weighs heavily on her anxious heart. Recently, her maid Annie gave the Duke a stern reality check regarding the Duchess's lacking wardrobe. Realizing his mistake, the Duke went on an immediate shopping spree to fill her room with luxury. He personally ensured the finest gowns and jewels were delivered, trying to make up for his neglect. He admits he'd be devastated to know he'd failed his wife, even without a maid's sharp tongue. He praises Claire's sharp eye for people, noting that her new maids are incredibly loyal and capable. They return to practice, but Claire's eyes are glued to the floor in a panic again. Changing tactics, he tilts her chin up. "Don't look at your feet, Claire. Look only at me." Her poor heart can't handle this much handsomeness at close range, while he stays effortlessly cool. Is he oblivious or just a master tease? To break the tension, Claire asks for a topic. He explains that small talk is the secret to a perfect waltz, then asks about her comfort. He asks if she's settled in and sincerely apologizes for the earlier issues with her meals. Claire insists she chose to stay silent, but his heart aches knowing she suffered in the shadows. "I'm used to hunger," she says casually, leaving him stunned and masking his growing concern. She blames her family's past financial ruin, carefully hiding the deeper scars of her lonely upbringing. She refuses to be a charity case, quickly changing the subject before he can offer any pity. Claire probes for his history, but accidentally steps on a landmine. His first love. A thick, awkward silence fills the room as Claire realizes she poked a sensitive wound. Panicked, she tries to pivot, but Ian insists he does not mind opening up. Sophia was a wild spirit. He explained so fierce she likely wished she was born male. Their engagement was a matter of family duty, since only Ian matched her noble status. Claire praises their bond, stunned to hear he waited 10 whole years for her. Ian wonders if he is odd, but his friend thinks he just had not met the one. Wait, is the stoic Duke already falling for our adorable leading lady? Ian brushes it off, apologizing for boring her with his silly past and marital drama. Apologizing now feels strange, but Claire stops him before he can spiral into guilt. "It was my choice," she insists, sharing her own loveless and lonely upbringing. She speaks of hunger and grueling chores. The Duke is visibly shaken by her pain. "You were alone?" He gasps, asking if her sister suffered that same nightmare. No, the sister was a favorite, showered with everything while Claire starved. Happiness was a myth to Claire. She only expected a life of misery and duty. She figured she would be sold to a greedy merchant or some ancient, crusty noble. Suddenly, a nasty blister throbs. Ouch, that is some poorly timed drama right there. She trips and lands thump, right in Ian's lap. Her heart starts racing like a drum. Flustered, she pulls away. "I never dared to hope for a happy marriage until now. To me, you are a hero." Those sweet words send a blush creeping up Ian's neck. Claire panics, thinking he caught a fever. "Oh no, he is turning bright red. Doctor, I need a doctor." She wails, ignoring Ian's desperate pleas that he is just embarrassed. She bolts before he can explain. Later, the doctor confirms the Duke is perfectly healthy. Ian heads to work, leaving Claire alone to vent her frustrations to a doll. Even the maids join the fun, dressing the doll as Claire frets over Ian's health. The butler drops off a mountain of paperwork, snapping her back to reality. A knock at the door? Claire wonders who would visit her at this hour. The chef enters, offering a tray of plain muffins as a somewhat suspicious peace offering. Typically, noble ladies demand sparkles and lace. These muffins? Totally bare! Claire suspects a prank, remembering how her sister mocked her for being common. But the scent is heavenly. Her stomach wins the battle against her pride. They are amazing. She happily shares the apology snacks with her loyal maids. "The chef made these just for us," she cheers, oblivious to any hidden insults. While May digs in, Annie smells a rat. A plain muffin for a duchess? How rude. Claire brushes it off. As long as the food tastes good, she is happy. With too many muffins left, Annie suggests a cute delivery mission to the Duke. A snack run and a wellness check? Claire is suddenly very motivated to visit. She worries about being a nuisance but hops into the carriage anyway. Adventure awaits. Nervous and alone, she regrets not bringing her maids along for moral support. Do I look like a real duchess? She frets, nearing the royal palace gates. The coachman drops her and bolts. "Find your own way back," he sneers. What a jerk! Claire huffs and approaches the guard, heart in her throat. "I am the Duchess of Ader. I have a delivery for my husband," she says bravely. The guard gives her a skeptical look. "Permit, please?" "No pass, no entry." "Permit?" Claire is stumped. Without royal orders, she is just another girl at the gate. Access denied. The guard sneers, asking if the Duke neglected to mention the rules. Clare politely explains her surprise visit, hoping the guard might deliver a simple gift basket. Rejection. He refuses point blank, claiming Duke Ian's items are strictly off-limits to outsiders. Gifts pour in daily, so every tribute is barred. Then the guard lets out a laugh. No fan has ever dared claim to be his wife. Relatives? Sure, but this? Clare insists she's the real deal, but the guard treats her claim like a bad joke. The Duchess is a plain wallflower, he scoffs. And you? You're far too stunning. You don't fit the rumors at all. Clare beams, realizing her new look is working. Goodbye, dullness. But if she can't find Ian, she's stranded at these gates forever. A 40-minute ride away, walking home is unthinkable. Desperate, she looks at the guard. Can she just wait? He shrugs, granting permission while warning her it's a total waste. Clare lingers in the corner. 90 minutes tick by, yet there's still no sign of him. Still no Duke. The guard gazes at her in shock. Is she really still here? He's back from break and she hasn't budged. Talk about the Duke's most dedicated fan. Your persistence is unmatched. But the Duke is a newlywed in his honeymoon glow. Give up. He won't cheat this early. Maybe try your luck in a few months? The guard keeps rambling, dishing out the hottest palace tea about the Duke's suspicious nuptials. It's a contract. He'll divorce that weird Duchess within 1 year, mark my words. Society was baffled by his choice. Now the rumors are spreading like a wildfire. Blackmail? Debt? Clare listens, just relieved people don't think he actually hates her. At least he doesn't hate me. But the guard won't stop highlighting the weirdness. A knight who hides his wife. Unheard of. Clare wonders if that's truly so bizarre. It's tradition. A man in love wants to show off his bride to the world. I'd parade her in front of every single guard. They're basically my brothers after all. Conclusion, it's a fake marriage. He's clearly too embarrassed to let anyone see her. How tragic. Yet, the guard admits she carries herself with true noble elegance. Any knight would kill to escort you? Clare sighs, torn between flattery and frustration. Wait, the guard snaps to attention. Greetings, Prince Keith. The atmosphere suddenly shifts. Golden eyes? Clare feels a spark of recognition. The guard introduces the fan to royalty. Her name, he never asked. Clare Maurice. Or rather, Clare Ader? She mumbles shyly. Ader, no wonder you look familiar. Meanwhile, the guard is frozen in absolute terror. I'm Keith, Ian's best friend and the king's brother. Nice to see you again. The wedding day. Clare is stunned. Why is the prince using the commoner's gate? I heard a wife was causing a stir at the gate. I had to see. But it's actually you. Did you leave your entry pass at home, Duchess? A pass? She had no clue. I'll take you to Ian, Keith offers warmly. Don't worry, this place is my playground. The guard finally regains his voice. She's really the Duchess. The prince nods, leaving Clare in an awkward spot. The guard begs for mercy for his big mouth. Don't worry, you weren't wrong, Clare jokes. Plus, I forgot my pass. She offers a cupcake as a thanks for the chat. Keith bursts into laughter. This Duchess is truly one of a kind. Why is he laughing? Clare waves goodbye, wishing the traumatized guard a pleasant shift. Inside at last. Keith can't believe their paths crossed before the big banquet. The pleasure is mine. Clare sighs, grateful for the prince's timely rescue. You saved me from the gate. After all, the king's brother is Ian's closest ally. She's playing nice. Her hubby and the prince are high society's most elite eye candy. Even a gossip avoider knows them. But unlike her husband, the prince is a total rumor magnet. He's a pro at dodging scandals, though. Keith mentions he's heard plenty about her from Ian. He offers informal speech, but Clare nixes that. Disrespecting royalty? Not on her watch. You're a duchess for a year, why not? the prince teases. Now she's getting suspicious. Does he know about the contract, or is he just eavesdropping? She decides to dig deeper. Do you think we'll divorce too? She asks. Hearing it over and over still stings. Keith offers to help if she's single again. She jokes, will you give me a job? He laughs, not that kind of help. Apparently he's heard she's a total pro at chores. Ouch. It clicks the prince definitely knows every juicy detail about their fake marriage contract. You two are way too close, she sighs. Keith brags about their 20-year bromance. Ian spills everything to him. If you have secrets... He starts, but she cuts him off. I'm jealous, she admits. I have no one to talk to like that. Keith is floored. She's not even mad her husband is a blabbermouth. This woman is truly amazing, he thinks. Meanwhile, Ian is daydreaming at work. He'll miss her cute, apologetic face during dance practice. Especially those, oops, I stepped on you moments. Suddenly, a colleague barges in unannounced. I knocked, but you were spacing out, he says, handing over a secret report on Clare. Maurice is confused. Why dig deeper? You already checked her family background, didn't you? Ian's worried. Hearing she can't dance made him realize her upbringing was likely a nightmare. Only her grandma cared for her, but she passed when Clare was only 10. Heartbreaking. Suddenly, a rumor arrives. A lady is at the gate claiming to be the Duke's wife. Still a lady killer even after marriage. Ian scoffs, assuming it's just another obsessive fan. He wants to introduce the real Clare to stop the drama, but she'd never visit. Protecting their fake marriage is her priority. But as the office door opens, Keith bursts in. Special delivery. He cheers and look who's hiding right behind him. It's Clare. Ian's jaw drops. The woman he just thought would never show is right there. Stop looking shocked and be happy your wife is here. Keith teases. She's just brought sweets. I'm leaving now, she says, but Ian worries about the heavy basket. Why carry that alone? He has no idea she waited 2 hours. Perfect timing, he says. We need a snack break. The colleague swoops in to introduce himself. Clare greets him with pure, elegant grace. Thanks for looking after my husband. She smiles. Both men are instantly bewitched by her. Maurice snatches the basket. I'll share these with the guys. He shouts, playing wingman. He drags the prince away, finally leaving the couple alone. Clare waves a polite goodbye. Sorry for barging in, our heroine says, feeling shy in his big, fancy office. I wasn't busy, Ian lies smoothly. But did you really wait? I'm so sorry. He promises her an express entry pass immediately. It's okay, Keith helped me, she chirps. As she flusteredly explains her visit, Ian notices a change. She's finally opening up. Since those dance lessons, she's been so expressive, nothing like the shy mouse he first met. Those cupcakes were heaven, she beams. It's the best thing she's ever tasted. I'll get them for you every day. He offers, but she refuses too much work. Plus, she couldn't eat that many. Ian has a much better idea. My mom loves a specific bakery. Let's go there together. He's already imagining her happy face. Just picturing her eyes lighting up at all those cakes makes him drift off again. Clare misreads the silence. Is he embarrassed? Did I ruin his workday? She worries. He's so kind he'd never tell her to leave. Suddenly, he snaps back to reality. Ian asks if he can introduce her. She happily agrees. It would be my pleasure. The Duke stands, offering his hand. Meet my wife, Clare. She sweetly thanks them for their service. The rumors were lies. She's stunning and her sweets are divine. You two should be alone. A soldier teases the couple. He mentions Ian's morning infirmary visit, sparking Clare's concern. Instinctively, she reaches for his forehead to check for a fever. Too close? She blushes and retreats, claiming she was just worried. Total third wheels. The men decide to give them some space. A flustered Ian asks if she's worried. "You look unwell," she notes. He apologizes for the wait. "My heart, just kiss already." Everyone is thinking it, but Claire thinks it's all just acting. Meeting over, Claire smiles, having genuinely enjoyed the company. Where is the carriage? The coachman actually left her stranded. Ian is suspicious. He's a horseman. Why would the carriage leave? Claire defends the young man and quickly changes the subject. Ian leads her away, avoiding the crowded main gate. She mentions the guard's warning about his many female fans. Ian ignores the fangirls. "Next time, you won't need a permit." An open invitation. Claire is touched by his unexpected kindness. Temporary wife or not, her heart is fluttering with joy. In the royal carriage, Ian assures her everything is fine. His friend's ride is perfect for a non-horseback rider. "I'll teach you one day," he promises, eyeing the staff. "Cupcake sabotage?" Claire asks for mercy, not a harsh punishment. He's fuming for her sake. His protectiveness is actually impressive. Why so angry for a substitute? Home at last, everyone's waiting. Time for business. Claire summons the chef responsible for the sweets. The head chef trembles, trying to stutter out an excuse. "I thought you liked simple snacks." He lies through his teeth. She never said that. Why the plain sad cupcakes then? Is he belittling her or looking for a reason to fight? Plot twist! "I called you here to say thank you." The chef freezes mid-apology, his brain completely short-circuiting. "Everyone loved them. You made them plain to share, right? No frosting means no mess during work." How thoughtful! Even the Duke nods along. Claire asks for his reward. "A salary bonus is standard," the Duke declares with authority. "Keep up the good work." She beams, grabbing Ian's arm. "Rest now, no more fevers." Is this acting or flirting? Ian looks strangely pleased. Claire wonders what's on his mind. That praise was unexpected. "You're full of surprises, Claire. Why reward him when you knew his malice?" He asks. "I rewarded the result," she purrs, "not the petty intention. Kill them with kindness, the true power of a duchess." Her aloofness chills him. She speaks as if her own life is just a bystander's tale. He insists his duchess should reign in luxury, not suffer in silence. "Tell me if you're struggling." He pleads. She beams, ushering him to bed. An early return brings a surprise. Ian presents her with a callous killing cream. He bought a lifetime supply before escaping for a much-needed soak. "Why the hard eyes?" the maids tease. She just can't stop staring. It's hand cream. She knows her work-worn paws aren't exactly royal standard. He's worried about her. Maybe it's a romantic gift from a smitten duke. To Claire, this jar is a tiny "I believe in you" for her new role. She cutely bribes her maids into a daily moisturizing sisterhood. "My husband pampers me, so I'll pamper you," she chirps. Soft hands for everyone. She's a stubborn angel, forcing them to glow alongside her every day. The maids surrender to her relentless kindness. Operation Soft Hands is a go. Security detail activated. Annie and May are now her permanent shadows. No more mishaps. Plus, it's time to break in those killer party heels. May imagines them as the most dazzling duo on the dance floor. Dancing. Whole body glow up? Claire recoils. That sounds like way too much effort. "Let's wait for the ball," she pleads. Annie counters. "Beauty takes time, honey." "Trust the process," Annie winks. "The big reveal will be legendary." A stunning sapphire gown sits waiting for its moment in the spotlight. Sleep. Impossible. Trauma from her sister's dress-stealing days keeps her wide awake. Memories of being the family laughingstock make our Duchess daze out. Fashion is a foreign language to her. She's completely lost. How did Amelia do it? Claire requests a picture frame look. Annie is baffled. Makeup like woodwork? Claire explains her logic. "He's the masterpiece," she sighs. I just need to be the frame. Annie vows to create a frame worth a king's ransom. Then disaster strikes. May enters, sobbing over a shoe that's been absolutely murdered. Find the culprit, May cries. Claire just shrugs. Grudges are such a chore. Only one backup exists, a blue pair that's way too small. Her feet are screaming, but Claire calls the agony perfect. I'll hunt the saboteur at the ball, Annie seethes. A maid on a mission. Claire nods. Breaking shoes is a crime against fashion. Preparation complete.